Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome to another weekly power ranking video. It's strange to say that we only have 2 weeks of the NFL season left. It's an extra week, of course, but we're heading into week 17, and there's still a lot of playoff positioning to be played out. There's still a lot of tough football to play. So it's time for me to rank each team heading into this week 17 of this season. But before I do that, make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and to beast the YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are watching this video and not sub, make sure you click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, the first team is the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, I'm going to have them at a D. Mainly, they just haven't been consistent all year. And a huge shout out to JJ Watt, who just announced his retirement at the end of the year before me pressing the record button. Shout out to JJ Watt for a hell of a career. I believe a first ballot Hall of Fame player, point blank period. But the Arizona Cardinals, just not a good team. The Atlanta Falcons, they were one of the surprising teams, but they've been on a little bit of a skid lately, and that eliminated themselves from the playoff contention, mainly the NFC South division that wasn't so good. But this team just faltered late. Then a quarterback change from Mariota to Desmond Ridder. This team is at a D. Next is the Baltimore Ravens. It's hard, but I'm going to leave this team at an A for now. It's interesting to see when they're going to get Lamar Jackson back. And I think when getting Lamar Jackson back, we'll start to really see how this team can perform down the stretch. Defensively, they've still been decent. Offensively, they need wide receiver help bad. And they just need to get it all together. But I think they would have a better record if they were able to close out some of those games earlier. But this team, I'm still going to leave it at an A for the moment. Next is the Buffalo Bills, who I saw firsthand last week against my Chicago Bears. I'm going to put them at the S tier. I've been a big believer in this Buffalo Bills team all season. Josh Allen still has a tendency to make some stupid decisions. He threw 2 interceptions this past week against the Bears. But defensively, they have been a very good football team. Offensively, they can score points. And it was frigid cold temperatures. They still put up 35, but even though a lot of that was a little bit later in the contest, but this team can still be dangerous when they are clicking on all cylinders and Josh Allen is making good decisions. Next is the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to put the Panthers at a B right now. Mainly, their running game has been really good. Sam Darnold inserted into this lineup. This team has looked different with Sam Darnold. They rushed for over 300 yards against Detroit, a game that they must had, and they took it out and they got it. And it's interesting to see what they're going to look like this coming week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that division is still up for grabs. Next is my Bears. I'm going to put them at a D. I love my Bears, and I love them completely, but this team is not very good. Justin Fields has been playing solid football, and that defense really showed up in the first half. It's just the Buffalo Bills' talent really took over this football team. It's not a very talented team, but they play hard every single week, and I give credit to Matt Eberflus for that. Next is the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the hotter teams in the NFL. I'm going to put them at an A tier. Big win over the New England Patriots to keep themselves in first place in that AFC North division. I personally have loved what Joe Burrow has done down the stretch, put his name in the MVP conversation. The running game has been good. Defensively, they've still been creating turnovers and they've still been wreaking some havoc. And I love what this Bengals team is starting to be down the stretch. And it's a little bit similar to last year when this team got hot down the stretch. So I'm going to put them at an A. Next is the Cleveland Browns. I'm putting them at a C. They are lost to the New Orleans Saints, eventually eliminated from the playoffs, but Deshaun Watson, I think once he gets his full swing, and next year I think is where you're going to see this Browns team start to elevate. It was just the quarterback play was inconsistent all year. Defensively, they didn't live up to expectations, but I'm going to put the Browns at a C. Next is the Dallas Cowboys, coming off of a much-needed win over the Philadelphia Eagles. I am going to put the Cowboys at an S tier. Defensively, they've really been good, but offensively, they really showed up against the Philadelphia Eagle team. Mind you, they did not have Jalen Hurts, but I still give the credit to the Cowboys for coming out and making some turnovers, creating some havoc, and eventually being able to win this football game. So I'm going to put them in an S. Next, the Broncos. That was just an absolute destruction at the hands of the LA Rams. Destruction. And Nathaniel Hackett is now no longer the head coach of this football team. And this football team was just a complete disaster, fighting with each other on the sidelines more than once this year. It's not a good team at all. And they had the talent, it just didn't come all together. Next is the Detroit Lions. I'm going to have to drop them to a C. They did not come out and play well against the Carolina Panthers team in the game that they really needed to have to put themselves in playoff contention. I get it. The Lions are still a very young football team, but at the end of the day, they did not come out and they did not play very well. They did get some points late, but it was too little too late. Next, the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to put the Green Bay Packers at a B right now. This team has just been rolling a little bit hot lately. Aaron Rodgers has been playing better. Defensively, they've been so-so, but they held their own against the Miami Dolphins offense that could be explosive. So I'm going to put the Green Bay Packers at a B for now. The Texans, I'm going to still leave at a D, despite them winning their second game of the season against the Tennessee Titans. Davis Mills plays solid. It's just this football team, just like the Bears, are not talented at all. The Colts, they're going to be at a D as well. This team is just an absolute disaster. Nick Foles, Sam Ellinger, Matt Ryan, they just cannot get wins. They just cannot score points. Defensively, they've been solid. They've been better. At least this past week against the Chargers team that can really put points up when healthy. But I'm going to put the Colts at a D. The Jaguars, this might sound crazy. I'm going to put the Jaguars at a B. And it sounds crazy because we didn't have expectations of the Jaguars team to be solid this year, but Trevor Lawrence has been playing a lot better down the stretch. Defensively, they've been getting better and better down the stretch of this season. And Doug Peterson really has this team in position to possibly win the AFC South. And no one would have thought of that with this Jaguars team coming in to this season. We would have thought about that with the Colts. We would have thought about that possibly with the Titans. But the Jaguars, we did not expect this team to be in contention in that division. Mind you, it's a bad division, but they're still in contention. The Chiefs, S tier. Patrick Mahomes, MVP candidate, and I think he's the front runner right now. Defensively, it's still why I question him a little bit. Offensively, they can explode and score points. Defensively, it's still a thing where I kind of question this football team at times. But when they're clicking on offense on all cylinders, it is a hard team to stop. Next is the LA Chargers. They played themselves into a playoff spot. I'm going to put this team in an A. I think when they get Bosa back, I think once that happens, I think their defense is going to take another step. Derwin James got ejected for that stupid hit, but Justin Herbert and that offense, once everything starts to get clicking with this football team, they could be a very dangerous team heading into the playoffs. So I'm going to put the Chargers at an A. The Rams are going to move up from a D to a C just based off the destruction that they put on the Denver Broncos. Now, of course, Baker Mayfield did play a very good game. That defense did play well, but this Rams team, I just got hit by the injury bug right now, and it's just too little too late. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. They lost a game that they had to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're still alive, but I think they would have more shot of a playoff spot if they would have beat the Steelers, and I'm going to put the Raiders at a C. It's just this team it's just too inconsistent to me. Offensively, they can score points. Offensively, they can run the football very well with Josh Jacobs. Defensively, the secondary is what's questioning this entire football team. So I'm going to put them at a C. The Miami Dolphins, I'm going to put it at B. This team is in a 4-game skid. And Tua Tagovailoa is in concussion protocol. He has not been playing well. Defensively, they haven't been the same defensive football team down the last few games. And it's really showing that this team could play themselves out of the playoffs if they continue to go down this stretch and they continue to lose football games. Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to put them in an S. I still believe in Kirk Cousins, as much as it's crazy for me to say that. NFC North champions. That defense has been playing some really good football. They pulled out a clutch game against the New York Giants. And Justin Jefferson is looking like the best wide receiver in football. So I'm going to put them at the S. The Patriots, I'm going to drop them to a C. They've been on the skid lately. Mac Jones has been playing, I guess, in and out. That defense, not a good defense right now. And it's hard to say that, especially coming from a Bill Belichick coach defense. It's not been a good defense. The Saints, I'm going to put the Saints at a C. That defense plays solidly against Cleveland. Offensively, I think they're a quarterback away from really being a better football team offensively. Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, whoever it was, just haven't been good. Andy Dalton is a serviceable guy, but he's not a guy that's going to get you over a hump, going to win you a ton of football games. The Giants, I'm going to put them at a B right now. They're still in the playoff hunt. They've been skidding a little bit lately, and I think they need to get their running game back going. Defensively, they need to start creating more havoc, and I think Daniel Jones needs to take another step in order for this team to really make the playoffs and possibly can be a danger, but at this point, I'm going to put the Giants at a B. The Jets, Zach Wilson, Lord. Zach Wilson has not looked good. And it's possible that the Jets could release him at the end of the year. That sounds kind of crazy, but it's a possibility. Mike White has been playing better, but the ribs injury obviously kept them out. Defensively is where they hang their hat. And they played well defensively against Jacksonville. It's just that offense couldn't do a thing. And the injury to Breece Hall in that running game is starting to suffer. So I'm going to put the Jets at a C. The Eagles, despite the loss to the Cowboys, they did not have Jalen Hurts. I'm still going to put this Eagles team at the S. One of the more complete teams in football when healthy, but the injury bug is starting to hit. Lane Johnson has an injury. Jalen Hurts is still dealing with some injuries. So offensively, they're getting hit a little bit by the bug. Even though Gardner Minshew, played well. Miles Sanders did not have the greatest of games, but I think they're getting hit by the injury bug a little bit late, and they're still a complete team, but it's interesting to see how this team is going to look for if Jalen Hurts is not healthy or Lane Johnson, one of the better tackles in football, is not healthy. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are still alive in the playoff race. I'm going to put them at a C. It is good to see that Kenny Pickett was able to lead the drive late to lead this team to a win over the Vegas Raiders. George Pickens has been playing some really good football. Defensively, they've been playing a lot better down the stretch. So I'm going to put the Steelers at a C. The Seahawks, believe it or not, I'm going to drop them to a C. They have been skidding lately. Geno Smith, they haven't been playing the same with him lately. Defensively, I've always been a question for me for them all year, and it's starting to show later on down the stretch. And this team is young. They're still learning how to win. It's just they haven't been getting themselves wins, and that is going to drop this team and possibly play themselves right out of the playoff race. The 49ers, I'm going to put the 49ers in the S. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do it, but this is, I believe, one of the best, if not the best defense in the NFL. Brock Purdy has been throwing really consistent football, 2 touchdowns in each of his 3 starts, and the running game with Christian McCaffrey has been playing very, very good. And then on top of that, Ayuk has been playing good. And they don't have Deebo Samuel right now, and they're still pulling out wins. So I'm going to put this team at an S. I think one of the hottest teams in the NFL in a very, very big danger down the stretch. The Bucs, I'm going to put them at a B for now. This team can't run the football to save their life. They cannot run the football at all. And they had to take another Tom Brady miracle to pull out the game against the Arizona Cardinals. The offensive line injuries and defensive injuries has been hindering this football team, but they just cannot run the football, and I think that set up so much of their offense, and their inability to run the football has been making this offense look really, really suspect. So I'm going to put them at a B for now. The Titans, I'm dropping the Titans to a C. 5 losses in a row. When this team had the division clear-cut won, and they cannot win football games. The quarterback situation, of course, with Tannehill and Malik Willis has not been great. Derrick Henry has been, I'm not going to say the elite Derrick Henry, but he's still been playing well. And that defense, down the stretch, they have not been playing good football. So I'm going to put the Titans at a C. And last but not least, the Washington Commanders. I'm going to put them at a B for the moment. I still believe if Taylor Heineke is healthy, he needs to be the quarterback for this team. And defensively, they did not look good against San Fran, but San Fran does cause a lot of teams a lot of problems. But I just believe when this team is healthy and Taylor Heineke is the quarterback, they are better than what they played last week against the 49ers. They still have themselves in playoff contention. It's just a matter of the health of Heineke as if he's able to go this week. But hey, these are my thoughts and these are my rankings for this week. Make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and to beat the algorithm. Comment you guys' thoughts down below. Did I get something wrong or do you agree or disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and as always, click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.